Well, a study was actually done in 2004 called A Critique of Two Theories of Press Censorship in Singapore. It was done by Mr. Tu Yu Ming. Now, in this study, he actually says that Singapore is known for its strict censorship policies against the press, and it actually has been in place since the 1970s. Right? It's actually done out of the authoritarian belief that the government knows what is best for Singaporeans, and this is in terms of economic and social and cultural even. So the press itself in Singapore is not actually a function of liberty. It is more like an instrument of the state that is used to promote national development.
High on the agenda of the government is not freedom of the press, but the maintenance of the social harmony in the process of economic development. In other words, the press should subject itself to the government.
Out of bounds markers, right? Now, the central one, absolutely no, don't you dare touch any, I suppose, has got nothing to do with politics, but with race and religion. Nobody would dare write anything critical of race and religion. Next circle is government. Government probity, that means government morality, ethical issues. If you dare suggest that this government is corrupt, if you dare suggest that this government is guilty of nepotism, right? In fact, the online people already suggesting that nepotism, corruption and so on, they will come after you. They will come after you. Now the third circle, which I had infringed on, which is not the most serious, their style. You know, I had written articles criticizing their knuckle duster style, the relationship between the government and the people. Remember, talking down to the people, not showing sensitive style, which they don't like. The fourth circle, which they tolerate, non-political issues. They tolerate, you know. So you criticize them, oh, the CPM is a little bit short-sighted, the MRT. And the last area, which they actually encourage, bread and butter issues. Bread and butter issues means specific. This road is this MRT, the maids should be given a day off, that kind of thing. So these circles. And they will keep these circles, they will be a little bit more relaxed with regard to style. So if somebody came up with articles like mine, now, they wouldn't get their brunt. They wouldn't have got the whacking that I did. No way, no way. But still, I'm not even sure that Straits Times would publish this kind of article.
Since 1987 till now, there have been 20 cases of defamation suits. 12 involve monetary compensation, with 6-figure payouts. 8 had to publish apologies. These involve journalists, politicians, bloggers, and filmmakers. The most recent is of the TRE case, which happened in February this year.
Oh, you know, Daniel, what you're actually talking about right there kind of reminds me of the Internet Code of Conduct. I actually have a couple of things which I could probably show them. I don't seem to have everything here with me. Oh, it's with you. Oh, right. Yeah, just come on over, pass it to me, and I'll just go ahead with this first, right? So, the Internet Code of Conduct happens to be a policy, a proposal by the government to further regulate online content. Now, when this was first announced, there was a lot of feedback, from bloggers, from various members of the public about this policy. So here's a comment by Ng E.J. And he says that if the government is serious, right, about getting bloggers to write constructively and maturely, they have to loosen up the political climate and not wield the threat of lawsuits at the slightest provocation. So thanks. Hey, help me hold this. Okay, yeah, thank you. Okay, so here's another quote by Kristen Han, and she's actually saying that the government, by constantly talking about the Internet Code of Conduct, actually betrays a desire to control Singaporeans' freedom of expression. And here's another quote by Tessa Wong, and she's actually saying that various actions have been taken against social political blocs in the past 18 months. And this, in fact, has lessened people's trust in the government. So I kind of feel that what Daniel has actually explained so far about the climate of fear is very relevant to the future of new media and online content, especially with this new Internet Code of Conduct. So the next video, we're going to be looking at Catherine Lim, and she's actually going to be explaining a little bit more about new media and the climate of fear. So over to you, Catherine.
Well, you have to take note of the recent incident where the government sent lawyers' letters to TOC and some to say, if you continue with this, we could throw a defamation suit at you. Now, I would say this was a kind of signal to the online people to say, hey, watch out. Watch out. For me, it was the proper thing to do, because the online has to curb. It doesn't mean that because you are anonymous you can slander people in any way you like. But at the same time, it could be a kind of political signal to the online media. And one thing, and I think all of them took off from their website, all of them complied, which makes us come down to the one point again. Online people don't have deep pockets, the government has, and that ultimately decides everything. How can the online, the TOC, Ravi Fellman, how can he afford to be sued? Sorry. So you can't, you just can't.
Richard Wan identified himself as one of 5 editors of social political website, Temasek Review Emeritus, or TRE. He did this out of journalistic passion because he believes that it is important to put a face on his website. However, he received 2 lawyers' letters from serving members of the present government over some comments that appeared. Right. He explains, to be frank, if I had known what's coming, I would have hesitated about coming out. And he expressed regret about his decisions. To avoid similar issues in the future, TRE, he explains, will remove any comments deemed to be offensive by any members of the public.
But if we have a change of government, everything will be changed. Everything will be changed, meaning everything that has been made so closely to the image of the PAP will change. You never know, the new party may be even more controlling of the press. It could be that, right? But what I suspect that any new government will do, at at the beginning, for the first few years, will be to show Singaporeans we are different from PAP. And one of the ways to be different is, hey, the press is free.